Police Commission is scheduled to review the controversial case of Ezell Ford tomorrow. The mentally ill black man was shot and killed by police last summer.
And tonight, protesters are holding an all-night vigil outside the home of Mayor Eric Garcetti to make their feelings known. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is live in LA's Windsor Square neighborhood where the protest continues at this hour. Dave?
Lena Wan, it looks to me like there are about 40 or 50 protesters here. They have moved down the street a block where they're holding up signs to passing traffic. This all comes on a night before the police commission acts. I'm going to move out of the way because you can see behind me here that many of the protesters have pitched tents and rolled out sleeping bags, indicating they expect not to be leaving anytime soon. Now, the new issue was brought up this morning as protesters surrounded the mayor and asked him why is he traveling to Washington, D.C. in the middle of all this.
Going to Washington right now.
We need you here.
The day got off to a shaky start as protesters told the mayor he ought to stay home in L.A. at a time of rising emotions and sharp criticism after reports that the police chief had reported to the commission that the police officers involved in the death of Ezell Ford did not violate policy.
Well, it's very disturbing that when issues of this magnitude come up for black folks in black Los Angeles, that the mayor seems to be consistently absent.
I voted for you.
The mayor told the demonstrators he was going to Washington to try to get millions of dollars in federal funding to house the homeless in L.A. But the group Black Lives Matter says the mayor was also absent last November when hundreds of demonstrators were arrested while blocking streets to protest what they called police violence and shootings of blacks without justification. At that time, Mayor Garcetti was on a trade mission to Asia. His office says the charges that the mayor is AWOL at crucial times like that are not borne out by the facts. But the leadership of Black Lives Matter in L.A. say there is a clear pattern.
Our mayor is ducking these issues. Ultimately, we should be holding him accountable. And he should be present to engage the community that he's supposed to be leading. And so for him to duck out is, I think, a very cowardly act.
On Tuesday, the police commission takes up the issue of the Ezell Ford case, and former L.A. Police Commission President Richard Droyan says the commission will have a clear choice to make. Did the officers act within policy or outside policy in the death of Ford?
The Police Commission reviews the decision that the chief makes as to whether the shooting is in policy or out of policy, and it has the ultimate authority as to the department's determination as to whether a shooting is within the department's policy or out of the policy.
More specifically, the commission will vote in closed session about whether the officers acted properly in the Ford case on 3 issues: tactics, use of force, and drawing weapons. Either yes or no. If the commission finds an officer acted improperly outside department policy, then the case goes back to the police chief for disciplinary action. But since the chief has reportedly already concluded the officers did not violate policy, would the commission vote against that? Does the commission ever make a finding that is contrary to what the chief or the inspector general have recommended?
When I was on the police commission, we overturned the chief's adjudication about a couple times a year.
Mayor Garcetti issued a statement saying, "I have confidence that the police commission will conduct an impartial and fair-minded review of the investigations conducted by both the LAPD and the independent inspector general." So here's what happens tomorrow. The police commission will discuss and vote behind closed doors on the Ezell Ford case and how police handled it. That, they say, is mandated by rules that say disciplinary cases like this have to have the confidentiality of being talked about behind closed doors. Then the commission comes out and announces what its vote has been on the issues we mentioned. We're live in Windsor Square. Dave Bryan, KCAL 9 News.